Hello everyone and welcome to my General Hospital Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. According to General Hospital teasers for Monday, February 24th, as the Cyrus Renault investigation intensifies, Josslyn Jack's secret will raise concerns. Let's speak about what's coming up since Brooklyn Quartermain's big revelation will also leave Lois Cerullo speechless. Since Cyrus has vanished without a trace, Anna Devane will first call someone down to the station, so she may have questions for Jason Morgan. Perhaps Anna should question Jason directly if he was involved in Cyrus' disappearance. After Josslyn squeezed the trigger, Jack Brennan of course made sure a crew cleaned up the cabin. Even though there is no evidence of the bloody Cyrus scene that just took place outside and the area is dust-free, Anna is still having forensics investigate. Josslyn was cautioned by Brennan not to tell anyone about what had transpired, not even Carly Spencer. Josslyn is also unable to tell Trina Robinson, but Trina knows her very well, and will be able to tell something is wrong. Kai Taylor will quickly come to Trina's defense with a pal while Trina confronts Josslyn about her strange behavior, and acknowledges that it's worrying her. Trina is the only reason Kai isn't going crazy right now, despite Quinn's repeated attempts to blame her for making him lose his focus. Martin Gray will receive information from Laura Collins at GH regarding Cyrus' perverse mission, and how it nearly cost Lucky Spencer his life. Laura will worry that none of them are secure since she will believe Cyrus might still be out there someplace. Molly Lansing Davis will be warned by Christina Corinthos Davis that she will never again have faith in the legal system. Christina would contend that the only possible consequence for Cyrus is death, and hope that Jason or someone else handled that. Dante Falconeri will tell Alexis Davis what the police have learned thus far. Sam McCall obstructed Cyrus' path and was killed in the Erie operation he was conducting. Nevertheless, Alexis believes they still need to provide a why regarding Cyrus. Given how eerily clean the cabin appeared, Alexis might have a suspicion that there is more to the story. In another scene, Brooke Lynn will confess to Lois that she told Chase everything. Now that Chase is aware of the truth, Lois might get anxious about the prospect of her daughter investigating the adoption. Since Lois is aware that Giovanni Gio Palmieri is the grown kid of Brooklyn and Dante, we'll be able to forecast all the drama that will likely unfold due to this secret. This week's column's headline sums it up perfectly. It was the worst conceivable moment to give General Hospital viewers a temporary Lucky recast. After dragging this story out for months, Cyrus' demise came very quickly, and his swan song was a huge squandered opportunity. Along with a week-late Valentine's Day celebration, the soap opera featured significant truth-telling and romance. Fortunate? Well, not quite. The love reunion between Elizabeth and Lucky has been eagerly anticipated by fans. Unfortunately, Guy Wilson, not Jonathan Jackson, was kissing Liz when they eventually did. Furthermore, the person present when Cyrus was defeated was not Lucky. Considering that Cyrus stabbed him with digitalis, make that the reverse. Jonathan Jackson was supposed to return to the part by Friday, so we knew Lucky wouldn't be a goner. Naturally, all he needed to do that day was relax and let Isaiah and Portia to save his life. Liz and Lucky kiss GH. Cyrus acknowledges all except, unsurprisingly, Cyrus told Liz that he felt God had chosen him to free souls who were stuck between this world and the next, and send them to heaven by singing like a canary about the killings. Unfortunately, Sam and Dex interfered with his mission. Austin's murder was briefly mentioned, but in reality, it served mainly to let Anna and company know that Cyrus was holed up at a cabin owned by the late doctor. If nothing else, the show could have revealed that Austin learned of Cyrus's plans, which is why the lunatic killed him. Laura even stated on Friday that Cyrus appeared to begin killing as soon as he was released from prison. Unfortunately, it seems like Austin's murder will never be solved now that Cyrus is dead. GH Liz observes Cyrus gesturing to the sky while speaking animatedly in her living room. Valentine's Day without joy. The Savoy was nice to see again, and it was entertaining when Chase surprised Brooke Lynn with a vocal performance. But I could have avoided meeting Drew and Willow this week. Drew was brave enough to believe that the Savoy would accept him. Well done, Curtis, for ejecting him. Fortunately, Willow turned down Drew's invitation to live with him as well. Yes, that would have significantly improved her already damaged reputation in the community. When Brooke Lynn eventually revealed to Chase that she was pregnant as a teenager, Chase's second romantic Valentine's Day surprise went completely wrong. Chase's support of his wife was endearing, and their conversation was heartfelt. He has now promised to assist her in finding her baby, should she so desire. When he learns that Dante is the father, a significant detail that Brooklyn omitted, he may of course become less accepting of everything. Even though I really miss Charles Measure in the character of Jack, I don't mind Chris McKenna's performance. Both his encounter with the utterly gorgeous Donna and his mini-date with Carly were enjoyable. Why don't we see her more frequently, really? Joss the special agent? Cyrus, who was standing in the doorway with that axe and was completely intimidating, was successfully taken out by Joss. He resembled Jason from Friday the 13th, according to one commenter on Thursday's recap. Jeff Kober's performances this week probably earned him another Daytime Emmy. Cyrus spots Joss G. But it seemed absurd that Jack saved Joss and then gave her an explanation for why he had been giving her information. She was unique, he assured her, and would be a great WSB agent. I had a theory weeks ago that he fed her information for that reason, but it was more of a joke. Joss was unable to even comply with Anna's directives to avoid involvement in this inquiry. And without Jack, she would never have connected the dots about Cyrus. What does that mean for her as a potential outstanding WSB agent? Yes, Jack. Let's entrust the young lady who can't stop talking about international secrets. Cyrus GH is shot by Joss. Speaking about Joss keeping her lips shut, Jack instructed her to do just that in relation to Cyrus's passing and his assistance. She isn't even able to talk to her mother about it. When Jason, who everyone heard threatened to make Cyrus vanish, is held accountable for Joss' actions, what would Joss do? That's where this is going, you know? Last but not least, the show missed the chance to leave Cyrus's murder a mystery. But that loss is the gain of another plot. Does anyone know who shot and killed Congressman Quartermain? Carly Spencer is dating WSB station chief Jack Brennan, according to General Hospital spoilers. Since Jack initially started pursuing Carly, there has been a noticeable spark between the two of them. The issue is that a new man has moved to town to play the part of the port chick WSB station chief, and the fans aren't entirely sure he's the appropriate fit for the position because he doesn't have an Australian accent, among other things. It's more than that, though. Some actors simply are drawn to each other, and their chemistry together brings their fictitious relationships to life on screen. Charles Measure and Laura Wright experienced precisely that. Fans are concerned that this young couple may have lost their stream when he was replaced. Don't say that. How we arrived. Late in 2023, Jack, a delightfully unexpected character, made his appearance in Port Chuck. Unbelievably, before McKenna was chosen for the part, executive producer Frank Valentini asked her to stop by for a chemistry test with Wright. However, he did not necessarily ace the test just because he passed it. Does anyone have the charm and charisma that Measure brought to the screen these days? I'm sorry, but you have some huge shoes to fill, Chris McKenna. It was Measure's decision. Charles Measure told People magazine that he decided to leave the popular Sudzer because he feels like an old dog and isn't sure whether he can pick up new tricks. Like most soap operas, GH has a lot of dialogue. Measure made a suggestion that she might struggle to keep up. Fans who have followed his career appear to believe that this was his best role to date, even though he may not have felt that he was giving it his all in it. You did a great job, Mr. Measure, even though we didn't see this coming when you were splattered on this painting. The fans are not happy. Fans of GH want Measure to return. That's it. It's not a jab at McKenna, an OLTL graduate. They would gladly accept him in a different capacity, but Measure's relationship with Carly was more than just his brilliant accent and baby blues. The upcoming GH will be intense. Cyrus's inquiry intensifies, Josslyn is grilled, and everyone is experiencing intense emotions. The Monday, February 24, 2025, General Hospital spoilers are here. Fans can anticipate a reunion with Laura Collins in the upcoming episode. Jack's Josslyn is grilled. In addition, Lois Curello discovers something terrible. Let's discuss what will happen in the upcoming ABC soap opera episode as you continue reading. Laura Collins gets back in touch. Laura will get back in touch with Sonny Corinthos on Monday, February 24th. As Laura deals with Lucky Spencer's illness, Sonny will want to be present. Lucky almost died and appears to be stable now, but he hasn't woken up. Laura might discuss how ironic it is that one child is down after the other has woken up. Sonny might mention losing his own son as a result. Rattled by Josslyn Jax. After killing Cyrus Renault, Josslyn will attempt to pretend that nothing has changed. Jack Brennan had the crime scene cleared, although it was self-defense. Since it was Dex Heller's gun that was used, Brennan reasoned, the police wouldn't believe it was self-defense. The intuition of Trina Robinson. Joss is questioned even though she will still be thinking about Cyrus and Brennan's WSB offer. Trina Robinson is concerned about Josslyn because she can see something is wrong with her. Trina will also talk to Josslyn about Kai Taylor in the interim. Kai defends Trina to a colleague in another scene. February 24, 2025, Monday. According to General Hospital teasers, fans can also anticipate that Ava will have an unexpected guest. Laura informs Martin Gray that as long as Cyrus is out there, they won't be secure. Dante Falconeri delivers some unsettling news. Someone is summoned to the police station by Anna Devane. Alexis Davis has a conundrum to solve, according to the Monday episode teaser. Molly Lansing Davis is informed by Christina Corinthos Davis that she will never again have faith in the system. Harrison Chase knows everything. She tells Lois over with Brooklyn Quartermain. Lois is appalled, but BLQ seemed relieved. Despite not even knowing the gender of her child, Chase appeared very supportive of BLQ discovering her child. The truth of Giovanni Gio Palmira will ultimately surface, even if Lois most likely wants to keep BLQ from discovering her child. Keep an eye out since Brooklyn is unaware that her baby lives with her. According to General Hospital spoilers, things are about to get really crazy soon. Actress Aiden McCoy, who plays Josslyn Jax, has stated as much. For all the information you require, continue reading below. Aiden McCoy of General Hospital hints at serious Cyrus spoilers. New behind-the-scenes pictures of the actress and her General Hospital co-star Jeff Kober were released. Cat's out of the bag. Joss obviously feels differently, but I adore you at Jeff Kober. You are so beyond talented and I'm so lucky I got to share time with you, she said as the description for the photos. So much more is yet to come. Let's get started. Does this imply that Cyrus is eagerly awaiting the end of his stay in Port Charles? It appears that many viewers think that. In their comments, many General Hospital viewers said, "Your performance was awesome. Joss will require the support of her friends and family to get through this. Even if Cameron is recast, it is time to bring him back permanently. But anyhow, I'm going to get old. I've seen Jeff Kober in a lot of movies starting China Beach in 1988. He's a legend and you did a good job working with him, kid. What a great scene," said another critic. "And you both performed it flawlessly. I'm excited to watch you continue to shine, and can only imagine what lies ahead for Joss. At Jeff Kober will be missed by all of us." Additionally, this comment was made. "You performed really well today. When you called someone, I assumed she would call Jason since I didn't think you would do that." Spoilers for General Hospital. What will happen to Cyrus? Aiden, you radiate such a lovely light and are incredibly talented and beautiful. Needless to say, viewers of General Hospital will just have to watch to see what happens next. Brother bargains, secrets kept and secrets told. Friday, February 21st, General Hospital teasers and updates hint to brother deals, secrets revealed and secrets maintained. Jason Morgan tries a brother deal, Jack Brennan wishes to maintain secrets, and Brooke Lynn Chase reveals the things she revealed. Unspoken secrets explained by Brooke Lynn. In an attempt to soothe Harrison Chase about his infertility, Brooke Lynn shares a long-kept truth with him in the security of their own home. "You were pregnant as a teenager and you've held on to this secret all this time," Chase says, seeming shocked as he takes in her disclosure. Tears spring up in Brooke Lynn's eyes, showing her dread that Daddy could be angry with her for keeping such a big secret, especially one as important as this. Will she have the guts to tell Chase everything? Especially that the baby's father is Dante Falconeri? Alternatively, would she keep calling him just a boy I got involved with at camp years ago? Keeping secrets and covering up? When Cyrus Renault threatened her with an axe, Josslyn Jax had to defend herself by shooting him with Dex Heller's gun, which put her in a dangerous predicament. It is difficult to prove her innocence, though, given that she had broken into his cabin and searched through his possessions before finding the proof that would have ended his life. Her lack of gloves made the situation worse, leaving her fingerprints everywhere, including on the hospital wristbands he had preserved as twisted awards. She is haunted by Cyrus's terrifying last words, "Now you're a murderer," and Brennan advises them to either deal with the matter themselves or call the police. Brennan may be cleaning up the crime scene and possibly getting rid of a body as part of his damage control strategy. Dante's desperate attempt to hold Cyrus accountable. According to the police's documentation of Cyrus's crimes, he stabbed Lucky Spencer with a syringe loaded with digitalis while confronting Elizabeth Baldwin. While Jordan Ashford searches historical documents for hints regarding Cyrus's whereabouts, Dante and Anna Devane plan how to pursue him while Lucky receives therapy. When Dante tells Anna he can run but that bastard can't hide, Anna smiles confidently in agreement. They are unaware that Cyrus's menace has already been eliminated, making him no longer a threat. But it's still unclear if Brennan will turn in the evidence Josslyn found or if Cyrus will always elude capture. Drew brother bargain shocked. Jason, requesting a truce, unexpectedly showed up at the house Drew Quartermain had bought for himself, Willow Corinthos, and their kids. As Jason suggested a ceasefire between them, Drew looked at his brother in disbelief. He had previously mentioned the late Sam McCall as the cause for his request. At her grave, Jason vowed solemnly to give Danny Morgan, Emily Scout Quartermain's half-brother, top priority. Is Jason able to convince Drew to put aside their differences and reconcile for the sake of their family? Family fearful, will Lucky live? As Lucky undergoes treatment in the hospital, his family eagerly awaits updates and holds out hope that Isaiah Gannon's digitalis antidote will work. But Aiden Weber and his mother, Elizabeth Baldwin, are in a state of terror. As Laura Collins and Lulu Spencer come closer, their features are etched with worry and a look of dread. When Laura asks what's going on, Aiden breaks down in sobs and says, "Dad's dying." Will Lucky be fortunate again and be able to overcome his obstacles? Out come the paddle's Lucky codes. Given the injection site, it is likely that the digitalis was propelled through the femoral artery by the syringe, which had its lethal effect on Lucky almost immediately. As they waited for the paramedics, Elizabeth immediately began performing CPR, her cries for him to hold on reverberating through the air. Isaiah and Portia Robinson, meantime, must deal with the sobering fact that Lucky had coded in the intensive care unit. Applying the paddles quickly, Portia's voice echoed with a resolute, "Clear." As Isaiah worries about whether the antidote will still be able to save his friend, worry begins to seep in and his heart accelerates. Josslyn's secret brings suspicions. Cyrus' investigation heats up. The air in Port Charles was thick with tension, a palpable unease that seemed to seep into every corner of the city. For weeks, whispers had circulated about Josslyn Jax, and the secret she was guarding so closely. Those closest to her had noticed the change, the way she avoided eye contact, the hushed phone calls, the sudden reluctance to share details about her life. At first, it had been easy to dismiss as the typical behavior of a young woman navigating the complexities of adulthood. But as the days turned into weeks, it became clear that something far more significant was at play. Josslyn's secret was not just a personal matter. It was a thread in a much larger tapestry, one that threatened to unravel the fragile peace that had settled over the city. And at the center of it all was Cyrus Renaud, a man whose name alone was enough to send shivers down the spines of even the most hardened residents of Port Charles. The investigation into Cyrus's activities had been simmering for months, but now, with Josslyn's secret casting a shadow over everything, it was heating up in ways no one could have anticipated. The weight of a secret. Josslyn had always been a pillar of strength for her family and friends. The daughter of Carly and Jax, she had inherited her mother's fiery determination and her father's sharp intellect. But even the strongest among us have their breaking points, and Josslyn was no exception. Her secret was a burden she carried alone, one that weighed heavily on her shoulders. She had tried to convince herself that keeping it to herself was the right thing to do, that she was protecting those she loved. But as the days passed, she began to wonder if she had made a mistake. The first person to notice something was amiss was her best friend, Trina Robinson. Trina had known Josslyn since they were children, and she could read her like an open book. The two had always shared everything, their dreams, their fears, their deepest secrets. But now there was a distance between them, a wall that Josslyn had erected without explanation. Trina had tried to broach the subject gently, but Josslyn had shut her down every time, insisting that everything was fine. But everything was not fine. Trina could see it in Josslyn's eyes, in the way she hesitated before speaking, in the way she seemed to be constantly looking over her shoulder. Something was wrong, and Trina was determined to find out what it was. The investigation into Cyrus Renault. Cyrus Renault was a name that struck fear into the hearts of many in Port Charles. A man of immense power and influence, he had built his empire on a foundation of corruption and violence. For years he had operated in the shadows, pulling strings and manipulating events to suit his own ends. But recently, the walls had begun to close in around him. The investigation into Cyrus's activities had been a long time coming. Led by Detective Harrison Chase and Assistant District Attorney Sam McCall, the case had been a top priority for the Port Charles Police Department. But Cyrus was a master of evasion, always one step ahead of the law. Every time they thought they had him cornered, he would slip through their fingers, leaving behind nothing but frustration and unanswered questions. But now things were different. The investigation was gaining momentum, and Cyrus could feel the noose tightening around his neck. He knew that he needed to act fast if he was going to protect his empire and his freedom. And that was where Josslyn came in. The connection. Josslyn had never intended to get involved with Cyrus Renault. In fact, she had gone out of her way to avoid him, knowing full well the kind of man he was. But fate had a way of throwing people together in the most unexpected ways, and Josslyn had found herself caught in a web of circumstances that she couldn't escape. It had started innocently enough. Josslyn had been at the right place at the wrong time, a witness to something she was never supposed to see. At first, she hadn't realized the significance of what she had witnessed. But as the pieces began to fall into place, she understood the danger she was in. Cyrus knew that she had seen something, and he wasn't about to let her walk away with that knowledge. Josslyn had tried to convince herself that she could handle the situation on her own. She had always been resourceful, and she believed that she could find a way to protect herself and her loved ones without involving the authorities. But as the days turned into weeks, she began to realize that she was in over her head. Cyrus was not a man to be trifled with, and he would stop at nothing to silence her. The suspicion grows. As Josslyn's behavior became more erratic, the people around her began to grow suspicious. Carly, ever the protective mother, was the first to voice her concerns. She had always been fiercely loyal to her children, and she could sense that something was wrong with Josslyn. But every time she tried to broach the subject, Josslyn would shut her down, insisting that everything was fine. But Carly wasn't the only one who noticed. Jason Morgan, Josslyn's uncle and a man who had seen his fair share of danger, had also picked up on the changes in her behavior. He had tried to approach her to offer his help, but Josslyn had been evasive, refusing to let him in. Even Sonny Corinthos, who had always had a soft spot for Josslyn, had begun to wonder what was going on. He had tried to reach out to her to offer his support, but Josslyn had been distant, almost cold. It was as if she was pushing everyone away, determined to handle whatever was going on by herself. The investigation heats up. As the investigation into Cyrus Renault gained momentum, the stakes grew higher. Detective Chase and ADA McCall were closing in on him, and Cyrus knew that he needed to act fast. He had always been a man who thrived on control, and he wasn't about to let anyone take that away from him. But Cyrus wasn't the only one feeling the pressure. Josslyn was caught in the middle, torn between her desire to protect her loved ones and her fear of what Cyrus might do if she went to the authorities. She knew that she couldn't keep her secret forever, but she also knew that revealing it could have devastating consequences. As the investigation heated up, the lines between right and wrong began to blur. Josslyn found herself questioning everything she thought she knew about trust, loyalty, and the lengths she was willing to go to protect the people she loved. And as the walls closed in around her, she realized that she was running out of time. The breaking point. The breaking point came on a cold, rainy night in Port Charles. Josslyn had been on edge for weeks, barely sleeping, barely eating. She had tried to keep up appearances, to act as if everything was normal, but the strain was beginning to show. And then in a moment of desperation, she made a decision that would change everything. She reached out to Trina, finally breaking down and telling her the truth. It was a risk, but Josslyn knew that she couldn't keep the secret any longer. She needed someone to confide in, someone who could help her navigate the dangerous waters she found herself in. Trina listened in stunned silence as Josslyn revealed everything. The secret she had been keeping, the danger she was in, and the role Cyrus Renaud played in it all. When Josslyn finished, Trina didn't hesitate. She promised to stand by her friend no matter what. But even as Josslyn felt a sense of relief at finally sharing her secret, she knew that the danger was far from over. Cyrus was still out there, and he wasn't going to let her go without a fight. The final showdown. As the investigation into Cyrus Renaud reached its climax, the tension in Port Charles reached a boiling point. The police were closing in and Cyrus was desperate. He knew that his time was running out, and he was determined to take Josslyn down with him. But Josslyn wasn't alone. With Trina by her side, and the support of her family and friends, she was ready to face whatever came her way. The final showdown was a battle of wits and wills, a test of strength and courage. And in the end it was Josslyn who emerged victorious. Cyrus was arrested, his empire crumbling around him. The investigation had been a success, but the cost had been high. Josslyn had been pushed to her limits, forced to confront her deepest fears and make impossible choices. But through it all, she had remained true to herself, a testament to the strength of the human spirit. A new beginning. In the aftermath of the investigation, life in Port Charles began to return to normal. The city breathed a collective sigh of relief, grateful that the shadow of Cyrus Renaud had finally been lifted. But for Josslyn, things would never be the same. The experience had changed her, forcing her to grow up in ways she never could have imagined. She had faced her fears, confronted her demons, and come out stronger on the other side. And as she looked to the future, she knew that she was ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. Josslyn's secret had brought suspicions, but it had also brought strength. And as she stood on the precipice of a new chapter in her life, she knew that she was ready to face it head-on, with the support of the people she loved by her side. General Hospital spoilers. Secrets told, secrets kept, brother bargains. In the ever-evolving world of General Hospital, secrets are the currency that fuels the drama, and the latest spoilers promise a whirlwind of revelations, hidden truths, and sibling negotiations that will leave fans on the edge of their seats. The fictional town of Port Charles is no stranger to scandal, but the upcoming episodes are set to take the intrigue to new heights. From shocking confessions to carefully guarded secrets and brotherly bargains, the stakes have never been higher. Let's dive into the juicy details and explore what's in store for our favorite characters. Secrets told, the weight of truth. In General Hospital, secrets are like ticking time bombs, and when they finally explode, the fallout is often catastrophic. The upcoming episodes will see several long-buried truths coming to light, reshaping relationships and altering the course of lives forever. One of the most anticipated revelations involves Nina Reeves and her role in keeping the truth about Sonny Corinthos' identity a secret. As fans know, Nina discovered that Sonny was alive and well in Nixon Falls, living under the alias Mike, but she chose to keep this information to herself. Her decision was driven by a mix of selfishness and genuine affection for the man she believed had no memory of his past life. However, as the truth begins to unravel, Nina's actions will have far-reaching consequences. Carly Corinthos, Sonny's wife, is likely to be at the forefront of the fallout. Carly, who has always been fiercely protective of her family, will not take kindly to Nina's deception. The tension between these two women is sure to reach a boiling point, and the resulting confrontation could have lasting implications for both their personal and professional lives. Meanwhile, Willow Tate and Michael Corinthos are also poised to face a seismic shift in their relationship. Willow has been harboring a secret about her health, and as her condition worsens, she may have no choice but to come clean to Michael. This revelation will not only test their marriage, but also force them to confront difficult decisions about their future. Will Michael be able to support Willow through this challenging time? Or will the strain prove too much for their relationship to bear? Another secret set to be exposed involves Ava Jerome and her clandestine dealings with Ryan Chamberlain. Ava has always been a master manipulator, but her alliance with Ryan has put her in a precarious position. As the truth about their partnership comes to light, Ava will find herself in the crosshairs of several Port Charles residents, including Laura Collins and Kevin Collins. Will Ava be able to talk her way out of trouble? Or will her past finally catch up with her? Secrets kept. The power of silence. While some secrets are destined to be revealed, others remain tightly guarded, their keepers determined to protect themselves and their loved ones at all costs. In General Hospital, the decision to keep a secret can be just as consequential as the decision to tell the truth, and the upcoming episodes will explore the moral complexities of silence. One character who knows the value of a well-kept secret is Alexis Davis. Despite her best efforts to turn over a new leaf, Alexis continues to find herself entangled in Port Charles's web of lies. As she struggles to rebuild her life and career, Alexis is faced with a difficult choice. Should she reveal a secret that could destroy someone she cares about, or should she keep quiet and risk being complicit in their downfall? Alexis's internal conflict will be a central theme in the coming weeks, and her decision could have ripple effects throughout the town.